Right guys, welcome back to another video, and today let's talk about some basketball. Right, so today basically what I wanted to talk about was basically about something that happened semi-recently, which was Gallinari tearing his ACL. So at first we thought it was a meniscus injury, similar to Robert Williams III got in that playoff run, which we all know what happened there. He was very in and out of the lineup. It wasn't a great time, but obviously with full recovery and a small surgery, it's taken care of quite swiftly, and he was able to come back quite soon. So a lot of people, such as John Corrales, where I get all my Celtics news from, the Locked On Celtics podcast, shout out to that podcast, my daily love. Go and listen to it if you're a Celtics fan. The best to ever do it, in my opinion. But from my perspective as a Celtics fan from the UK, and someone with the injury that it's confirmed he has, I forgot to say, after that time it was then confirmed that he did actually in fact tear his ACL, which is one of the worst injuries in sport that you can get as an athlete. I would know, I've had it, so I'm going to give my perspective on it, give some reasoning on it and explain it. I know this isn't a very big topic, it's Gallinari, so not many people are going to be bothered. He was like an 8th man on the Celtics, but this is what I'm going to talk about. I did a Eurobasket video yesterday, so I felt like I needed to talk about something different. So in my opinion, I'm just going to be talking about this. So this is Gallinari. This is my opinion on what it means for Celtics and what could happen. Now, a lot of my information that I get on who the Celtics could get is based on the Locked On Celtics podcast. It's hard to say, isn't it? Because do you keep him? Do you trade him away, which seems really mean. So let's first talk about the injury. Let's not get too carried away on potential replacements for Gallinari 2 yet. Let's talk about him, and yeah, let's talk about him quickly. So obviously Gallinari came in this summer for the Boston Celtics, and it was really good because he's a really good player, a really good shooter. He was going to improve the Celtics and allow them to play in a different way, which is really good in my opinion, and I thought it was a great pickup, and I was really excited to see him play. Obviously there was that picture of him in that Celtics tracksuit, which was very much going around in the Celtics community at the time when he got signed, and I was really looking forward to watching him, and he actually in fact did tear his ACL playing for Italy, which is horrible. I feel so bad for him that he can't play in the Eurobasket either, because that is something that he probably wanted to do for a long time in the period of his life. So in my opinion, I just wanted to talk about him and stuff like that. So what is an ACL injury? So basically an ACL injury is an injury to your knee which helps stability within the knee. I am not a doctor. I'm speaking from personal experience. I've got it right now. In the UK we can't get surgeries for a few years. Obviously if you're an athlete you would have the ACL reconstruction surgery very soon. However, it's hard because it's best if you have the surgery with rehabilitation, like physical therapy, which means that you have to wait a little while before you can actually do it because they need to get your knee ready. So when they heal it, it's like, well, when they fix it and put it back together, create like a reconstruction of it, it allows it easier to heal essentially, right? So it makes it so you can go back and it won't tear again, because if you don't prepare it and you don't give it sufficient rehab, then it will tear again very easily. It's a very recurring injury. I know someone that's had it tear twice on them. There's people that I know have torn it like 2 or 3 times because it just keeps tearing, because the rehabilitation that you have is not great. Obviously he's a professional athlete, he's going to get taken care of, just like Klay Thompson did, for example, and he's fine. So he's going to be fine, but you just got to wait a little bit. You've got to have the surgery, you've got to have all the rehabilitation, getting your knee back to being stable, because basically what an ACL does is it holds your knee together and stops it from sliding essentially. So basically keeps it stable, so if you wobble it'll stay. It's like a little bridge that holds the bits of your knees together so it doesn't go like that and slides, and that's what happens, and that's why obviously you can't play. Me personally, I can't run, and I tore my ACL last year, still waiting for a surgery. Not great, but obviously he's a professional athlete, he'll get it paid for, he'll get it pretty much as soon as he wants it, which is good at least. However, it's seeming though he's going to be out for a year, which isn't great for the Celtics or for him, let's be honest there. So a lot of people are suggesting trading him away, a lot of people are suggesting finding a replacement for him, and I do agree in some capacity that you need to find a replacement for him, because you brought him in as that extra guy who could help the Celtics win a title. And there's talk about bringing Melo in, who I'm obviously not crazy on bringing in, but at the end of the day, if you need him and if you can get him for a decent deal, bring him in. He doesn't have to play. He can just be there. At the end of the day, it's just a bit like the options are limited, right? And you're not going to get like the best players in the world for the money that you have from Gallinari, and your like other like trade assets which you have. Let's say that it's not going to be a great deal which you're going to get from trading these players. So at the end of the day, is it better to just go without him? If they trade him away, save the money. They don't have to use it because obviously bringing in someone else isn't going to be that useful at this point. Is it better to do that than like just bring in another guy just because you feel like you need to when he's probably not even going to play? Like, is Melo going to play? I don't know. He could, but it depends also what the Celtics need. Like John Corrales said, if they've improved certain aspects, they might go for a different option there and might take someone that's different. Which we obviously don't know yet how the guys have improved over summer, what stuff they've changed about the game, how the style's going to develop. It is a shame that Gallinari is not going to be there because he was going to give a different like way of playing. Obviously, we've brought in Malcolm Brogdon, who's obviously going to be the sixth man, so you'd assume Gallinari would have been like the seventh or eighth kind of guy. So he's not like massively important, but at the end of the day, it still means something when one of your players who can change the way you fundamentally play, like he would have given us a different aspect to how we could play. We could be a more shooting team when we needed to go a bit more small, and it would have really helped us differentiate our play from playing like two bigs such as Al and Rob, which was obviously working as like the best starting five in the league, but it does really help if you can change the way you play to suit different situations and to give players rest, such as Rob, who's very injury prone, and Al, who is very old. Well, not very, that was so mean. I love you, Al, but you know what I mean, can't play every single minute of every game anymore. I love you, Al, I do apologise there. But yeah, it's like, do you trade him away? Is that a bit mean? The Celtics want to win, so do they trade him away, save some money? If he's out for a year, I feel so bad for it, but it's business, isn't it? Celtics do business, and we've seen this with many players over the years. They do good business. So I believe in what the Celtics are going to do. I believe they're going to make the right decision. I wouldn't want to make that decision, but at the end of the day, if they do make it, I understand their reasoning and why they would be doing it. But I just wanted to comment on this, talk about it in a little video, and yeah, if you have enjoyed this video, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching.